What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with the weekly vendor and reward refresh for Destiny 2, and this is for the weekly reset for April 11th. And so as always in the video, we'll cover all of the new vendor loot for the week, and that includes the Eververse inventory, but also Banshee's featured weapons. And as always, ADA-1's armor and shaders. Plus this week we've got new adept weapons for the Nightfall, the launch of Grandmasters, plus key content changes, bonus loot. We'll cover the featured Lost Sector exotics, and everything else worth knowing rewards-wise this reset. And so as always, I hope you guys enjoy the video and find it useful. If you do, be sure to get subscribed for more Destiny content, but otherwise, let's get into it. And so starting out today on Neomuna, initially we've got a new weekly mission. This week it's going to be Downfall featured once again, of course that's a pinnacle drop. And then the Vex Incursion Zone has moved to Living Harbor, and we get Partition Hard Reset. But also in the route of Nightmares, we've got the Cosmic Equilibrium Challenge available this week, so it'll be interesting to see what that one is. And otherwise, nothing new for the season just yet, potentially a finale in a few weeks' time though. And then moving over to our vendors, initially we've got Banshee's weapons. I did make a video earlier on about how these weapons will actually refresh and how their perks will change at different times throughout the week, so certainly worth checking into that. But for the weapons and rolls initially available right here, we've got Under Your Skin with Unrelenting and Opening Shot. This one's featured quite a bit right there, nothing particularly special about that roll. We also have the Judgment of Kelgarath, talking about weapons that are featured quite a lot. Demolitionist and Unstoppable Force available on this one right now. And then we've got the Last Perdition with Grave Robber and High Impact Reserves, and the Boudica C sidearm right here, and this one's got Moving Target and Swashbuckler, which actually isn't a terrible roll whatsoever on that one. Then we've got the Falling Guillotine as well. This one has Relentless Strikes and Counterattack available this week, or for today, so nothing too crazy right there. But then we've got the Lunalata 4B bow right here. This one's got No Distractions and Turnabout. The Jararaka 3SR, I'm never going to say that correctly. This one's got Perfect Float and Focused Fury. Then we've got the Snorri FR5 Fusion Rifle, Compulsive Reloader and Frenzy, which might be a little bit of fun, not the best roll, but not horrendous. And then we've got the Ikelos SMG. This one's got Killing Wind and Surrounded. The Memory Interdict today has Surplus and Elemental Capacitor. And then we've got the Taipan Fusion Rifle. Actually a pretty good roll on this one with Clown Cartridge and Firing Line. So one of the better rolls that you can get on a Lydia Fusion Rifle. But definitely be sure to check in at Banshee throughout the week, as some of these rolls on the weapons will actually change. And then heading down to ADA-1 in the annex, right here, we've got a new armor set for the week. This is the Retrograde set. Of course, it'll be available for all three classes. No particularly standout stats right here on the Titan pieces at least, but for the featured shaders, we do have Baguzian Knight, one of the ones from back in Black Armory. Of course, these will cost 10,000 Glimmer each. I'm sure this is one that a few folks will want to pick up right here. Here's a quick preview of it. But we also have the Arctic Dreamscape shader, actually a kind of cool one right there that I haven't seen for quite a while. This was a pretty vanilla shader for Destiny 2. And the new Monarchy Allegiance right here. I think ADA-1 has sold this one already this season. I'm not certain, but some of these older shaders certainly will be worth picking up for some players. And then we get onto the Eververse store for the week, and actually, it's one of the better weeks that we've had this season. So for 3,250 Bright Dust on the front page, that is a terrible preview right there. I don't know why this is happening, but it is the Spray and Play, or Pray exotic emote that we can't fully see, although a pretty close-up look at my Titan's boot right here. On top of that though, for 1,250 Bright Dust, we have the Archon Prime, which is an ornament for the Outbreak Perfected. A pretty cool one that we're able to pick up, brand new for the season. Again, 1,250 Bright Dust. And then we get the Daito Capsule entrance for 450 Bright Dust. And as always, for 300 Bright Dust, the featured shaders, and a new one for the season, which is the Springtide Feint. So if you're after some nice pinks right there, be a good one to pick up this week. But the other featured front page shader is the Welded Brass. And then getting onto the main Bright Dust section, here we've got another exotic emote. This is 3,250 Bright Dust, and it's the Simon Says exotic emote, which is a pretty cool one right there. Additionally, there is the Come At Me rare emote available this week, which is also a kind of cool one, new for the season, and that one will cost 400 Bright Dust. But for 2,850 Bright Dust right here, there is the Clean Lines exotic Ghost Shell. We've got a bit of an Eververse bonanza going on right here. We've also got the Doubt ornament for the Trust Hand Cannon. One of the older Gambit ornaments right there, and it's available for 700 Bright Dust. And we get 3 new exotic ornaments, of course, available for each class. These are 1,500 Bright Dust each, and for the Titan, we have the Augmented Auspice. Additionally though, for the Hunters, we get the Cedar ornament for the Yunga Hamkara's Spine. And finally, the Warlocks get the Ocusor Draconum, which is an ornament for Sunbracers. On top of these though, there is a second weapon ornament for exotics this week, which is the Omnipotentia for the Tractor Cannon. And then there is the Spicy Ramen Projection, available for 1500 Bright Dust. And for more of the featured shaders, we have the Flavido Core right here. Additionally, there is the Vibrant Beach shader, I think that was available last week. And from Season of Opulence, there is the Atmospheric Glow, a pretty cool green one right there. And finally, the Meditator shader available this week. Once again, these are all 300 Bright Dust. But finally, for the Eververse store, there is the Harpy's Cry, as well as the Up in Smoke, and the Cannon Fodder Transmat effects, and these are available for 450 Bright Dust. And also for Saint 14 right here, the weapons on the rank rewards do actually change roles. So the Immortal this week has got Encore, as well as Hatchling available, and of course Trials will return on the daily reset on Friday. With the Astral Horizon, featuring Threat Detector and Elemental Capacitor this week. Next though, finally, let's cover the Nightfall weapon for the week. Of course, this week is the launch of Grandmaster Nightfalls, and Proving Grounds will be the featured Nightfall, plus we're going to get bonus Nightfall rewards, so that'll be pretty good in itself. But the featured weapon, including of course the Adept variant, will be Hung Jury this week, and so taking a quick look at the trait bonuses that it can get, in the first main trade slot, it can roll Rapid Hit, as well as Surplus, Subsistence, and then it can get Shoot to Loot, Offhand Strike, or No Distractions. In the second perk slot though, it's able to roll Kinetic Tremors, and sustained kinetic damage to a target emits a shockwave that damages nearby targets. That's a pretty good new one this season. And the second most popular bonus in that trait slot would be Firefly, but it can additionally roll Frenzy, Box Breathing, Adagio, or Gut Shot Straight. And so it makes sense that things like Rapid Hit and Kinetic Tremors is a very popular combination, but obviously Surplus, Subsistence, and Shoot to Loot in the first trade slot are the next most popular bonuses. And otherwise, for the second trade slot, outside of Kinetic Tremors, Firefly is a really good bonus, and Frenzy is decent for that damage boost. But overall, I'd say, this season at least, Kinetic Tremors is certainly the main appeal for the weapon, and it's one of a relatively small number of weapons that can actually roll Kinetic Tremors, so certainly a role to look out for on the weapon this week, and let us know what you'll be going after down below. But the very final thing to touch on right here are the featured Lost Sectors for the week, and for today, April 11th, we've got Bunkery 15 dropping Exotic Legs. Then on April 12th, we'll get the Conflux dropping Exotic Gauntlets, and that's followed by Thrillerdrome dropping Exotic Chest Pieces on April 13th. But for April 14th, we'll see Hydroponics Delta dropping Exotic Helmets, then the Gilded Precept dropping Exotic Legs on April 15th. And the final couple of Lost Sectors for the week include Excavation Site on April 16th, dropping Exotic Gauntlets. And finally, for Skydock, dropping Exotic Chest Pieces. We'll get that on the 17th of April. Otherwise, guys, for today, that pretty much rounds up everything worth knowing regarding loot in the game this week. So, as always, I hope this has been a useful video, and if it has, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. Also, be sure to get subscribed if you're new around here and you want to be kept up to date with everything related to the game. But otherwise, as always, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.